Happy Halloween. It's November. I wanted to film this video in October, and I actually did, but I was also coming off of 3 days of severe sleep deprivation, so what came out was not exactly usable. So here we are. This is gonna be a spooky Thanksgiving video instead. And what's more important around Thanksgiving than family? You know, when you're with your family this holiday season, you're gonna need a lot of media to watch together to avoid actually talking. Because if there's one thing scarier than Halloween, it's an unedited conversation with your relatives. If you're looking for a film to watch with the whole family, might I recommend Casper, which is an adaptation of the beloved 70s comic book character who in this movie is a male manipulator. As a kid, you know, I thought, oh, a fun spooky movie about ghosts. Good thing I'm never gonna die and I don't have to worry about taxes. But as an adult who is going to die and does have to worry about taxes, I have some notes. Like I said, the main character, Casper, is problematic. But before we get to that, the movie has to establish two things: that Casper is lonely and that he is also horrifying. Look at that kid. That is the most scared I've ever seen a person. Casper was so terrifying to him that he unhinged his jaw like a python. He's a ghost that looks so scary that he can psychologically destroy you while simultaneously permanently changing your bone structure. I'm honestly scared to see what this horrific ghost even looks like.
Oh, every time. All I want's a friend.
Oh, he's just like a little guy. That's not that scary. I mean, I guess it'd be scary to see a ghost in general, but I don't know. I don't want to come off as too brave here, but if I saw Casper, I wouldn't be scared at all. I'd punch him with my fist. So Casper really wants to feel less lonely.
All I want's a friend.
And he might just be in luck because on TV that night, there's a special report about a ghost therapist.
It's Dr. James Harvey, therapist to the dead. After the sudden, unexpected death of his wife Amelia, Dr. Harvey gave up conventional psychiatry and some say conventional sanity.
Okay, incredibly rude. The news is being so mean to him. Like, could you imagine agreeing to do a piece for the news and then you turn on the TV and it's just 30 minutes of them being like, this moron has a crazy job and it's making life harder for his stupid loser daughter.
Now, along with his loner daughter, Kat, Doc Harvey travels from town to town.
The news follows her to school to berate her through the fence.
How do you feel about what your father does for a living?
Could you please not ask me any questions?
Kat, is your dad insane? It would be really great for us if your dad was insane. Could you please say your dad's crazy? But yeah, speaking of this guy's dumb loser daughter, guess who Casper's in love with?
Doc Harvey travels from town to town, searching for paranormal...
You know he's in love with her because he makes this noise.
Town, searching for paranormal...
Which I'll say is a little odd. Weird to see someone you have a crush on in a distressing situation and then to be like, oh geez, that's awesome. But yeah, anyway, I mean, Casper just found a ghost therapist, so it seems like he's finally gonna have someone where he can go and talk about his feelings, and maybe he can finally work through these feelings of loneliness. Or actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he could just travel through phone wires to the hotel where the lady who owns the creepy house he lives in is, and then show her the news footage so that she'll hire the ghost therapist and bring the daughter that Casper has a crush on to him. Yeah, you know what? That's a good plan. And also, that feels like illegal. By the way, Casper's house is owned by this character, Kerrigan.
What a dump. What a dump.
She's your standard evil rich lady who wants to skin 100 Dalmatians or whatever. She also has this sidekick. His name is Dibs, and he's British.
It's a bit spooky.
Dibs.
That's pretty much it. But basically, their whole motivation is they want to get into the house because the deed had a treasure map on the back.
Harrigan, the deed's in there.
Whipstaff doth a treasure hold. Treasure?
So they're convinced that there's some ancient treasure in the basement of this house. So yeah, Kerrigan hires Kat's dad, she and her dad move in, and the second they do, Casper's sick, twisted plan goes into motion.
It's her. She's here. She's in my house. I did it.
He's following Kat around the house. He's watching her from the shadows. He's pretending to be her pillow, which feels like a weird violation of personal space. Casper's basically waiting for the perfect moment to reveal himself so that he can permanently destroy Kat's brain and worldview. Kind of like he did to that snake kid earlier.
Then I saw a ghost. It was a real ghost. It was real
Slow
life
down.
ghost.
What are you saying?
Seems a little incredulous for a ghost therapist. For someone who supposedly works with ghosts for a living, Kat's dad is pretty slow to believe her.
Real
Slow
life
down.
ghost.
What are you saying?
Wait, slow down. What are you saying? Honey, ghosts aren't real. I made that shit up.
There. See?
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Like, actually, why would he react like that? If he sees ghosts all the time, why is he so scared of Casper? That'd be like if your dentist saw your teeth and then lost their mind. I'm honestly kind of starting to think the news might have been right about this guy.
Some say conventional sanity.
And dude, if he's having this much trouble with Casper, he's not gonna survive the other ghosts that live in this house. Casper has 3 uncles who live with him. They're kind of like his legal ghost guardians, and they hate him.
Oh, look, it's Casper.
Like, way more than you normally hate your extended family. They talk to Casper for 3 seconds and then immediately like launch him into the ether, absolutely banishing Casper to the spirit realm, which is doubly impressive because he was already a spirit to begin with. So these 3 are named Stretch, Fatso, and Stinky, which are fun, lighthearted ghost names. You know, they got those names when they died because that's how their ghosts look. Just kidding. Because Kat finds their bedroom that they presumably slept in when they were alive, and these 3 have their names carved on the headboards, which actually means that when they were alive in this town, there were 3 men walking around with jobs and bank accounts named Stretch, Fatso, and Stinky. Full adult human beings with names that you would normally give to cats you find in dumpsters. So these 3 are Kat's dad's main patients, and their first interaction doesn't go great. They try to kill him with swords. And they would have done it if he hadn't gone Luigi mode and sucked them up in a vacuum.
Who's got that pointy head in my...
That's not my head.
In case you missed that joke, they were talking about Fatso's ghost penis. It's at this point in the movie, though, that we get to see Casper's true dark side.
If you're not hooked up with anybody else, you wanna, I don't know, wanna hang out with me at the party?
So this popular boy asks Kat to a Halloween dance, and Casper just goes full incel mode. Casper is so upset by the thought that Kat would like a living human boy instead of him. Dog, you're dead. Don't you have bigger problems right now? And it only gets worse later that night.
Casper. Casper, no. Casper, no. Casper, no. Oh my God.
Hey, buddy. You can't do that. I get that this is a kid's movie, right? Casper's a ghost. It's not that deep. But I do think the fact that Casper's trying to impress Kat by dragging her out the window while she's begging him to stop is maybe not sending a great message to kids. But you know what? Maybe this is the part of the movie where Casper finally learns a lesson. Maybe this is a learning moment where he realizes he doesn't have to do all that crazy nonsense to make someone like him. Maybe the best thing he can do is be himself. Oh, what's that? Oh, it works? Oh, Casper dragged Kat out of a window, nearly killing her, and then she actually does like him after that? Oh, okay, cool. Good movie. Yeah, Casper takes her to this lighthouse that he likes to go to, and Kat instantly forgets all the weird stuff he did.
Casper, this is beautiful.
Casper, this is beautiful. Also, I hit my head really bad. How did we get here? Don't worry about it. This is also the part of the movie where Casper reveals he can't remember anything from before he died.
What were you like when you were alive?
I don't remember.
So essentially all it took to overcome a full week of really odd behavior was sharing one secret. I'm just blown away by the filmmaker's choice to like not let Casper learn a lesson. Cause then the message kind of winds up being like, hey kids, if you have a crush, that's totally normal. And you know what? If they don't like you back at first, Make this. Socially engineer a situation in which they live in your house. Then put them in a life or death scenario and they'll trust you forever. When you put it that way, Casper is the 1990s equivalent of an alpha male podcaster. But like I said, this is a fun, silly kids movie, so while this is happening, Fatso, Stretch, and Stinky are playing an epic prank on Cat's dad.
Fatso, you know where Amelia floats. Go. Think it's for you, Doc.
My man!
Yeah, that's right. They convince him his dead wife is behind a door just to pull the rug out from under him. You just got pranked! Also, outside of how cruel that is, why is Fatso absolutely built?
My man!
I don't want to objectify a cartoon ghost or anything, but did the person who made this 3D model not know this was a kid's movie?
It's about time.
Oh my gosh, how sweet. Now that Casper tricked Cat into liking him, she set up his room the way it was when he was alive.
I know this. I had 5 fingers. I remember.
Oh my gosh, he's remembering his life. This is such a beautiful moment. And I'm really glad that they decided to not include any, like, traumatic memories for him.
Begged and begged my dad to get me this sled.
That's a great sled, man. What? Wait, why's the music changing?
Took it out. Went sledding all day. Got late. Got dark. Got cold.
No, wait, what?
And I got sick.
What? Out of nowhere, they drop Casper's death story on us, which is a grippingly sad moment. And they also reveal that when Casper died, it actually drove his dad insane. And in his insanity, he built a machine that could raise the dead. Which is a weird cosmic horror subplot for a movie where we just saw ghost boobs. But now that he remembers this machine is in the basement of the house, Casper wants to use it to come back to life. But oh no! When Cat and Casper try to do that, someone steals the only bottle of the machine's fuel. Who could it have been? Oh, so close. It was Kerrigan and Dibs, but good guess.
You don't have to be scared of death anymore. 1 minute you'll be a ghost, next you're back on your feet, free to come and go as you please.
Okay, let them cook.
You could even fly through
Walls. Thick walls.
Thick as steel.
Okay, let them cook.
Get to whatever's behind those walls.
Like a treasure, for example? If you were a ghost.
If you were.
Okay, they're gonna try to murder each other.
This won't hurt a bit.
You know, I don't want to be overly critical because I'm not a screenwriter. That feels like overkill though, literally, because they're over killing each other. They don't have to kill each other. There's a million other ways to get inside of a safe in a basement, and I would be willing to bet that at least half of them are less traumatic than dying. But now we get a very funny montage of attempted murder, which ultimately culminates in Kerrigan falling off of a cliff, which is technically an accident, and therefore this movie can still be PG. Ghost Kerrigan flies down to the basement, goes into the safe, grabs the treasure, and she would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for that meddling Dibs.
Dibs! Get this thing cooking, you flaccid little worm, you!
Oh, what a shame. Sorry, sweetheart. We're through.
Yeah, Dibs betrayed her, which she should have seen coming because he is British. And to make matters worse for Kerrigan, Cat and Casper actually trick her into moving on to the afterlife.
But aren't you forgetting something? Your unfinished business.
All ghosts have unfinished business. That's why they don't cross over.
Which this also brings up a big issue. If every ghost has unfinished business...
All ghosts have unfinished business.
What's Casper's? Is it all the weird stuff he's been doing? Is that like his mission? His unfinished business is making the life of a single dad and his daughter a lot harder.
I have no unfinished business. Just perfect.
Well, regardless, I guess everything's gonna be fine now. The villain's defeated, and there's no way that Cat's dad dies. okay? Sometimes I'm wrong. I'm a human being. Yeah, Cat's dad dies in this movie. He's out drinking with the ghosts and he falls down a sinkhole.
Come on, come on.
So now we get to watch him as a ghost interact with Cat after experiencing post-death memory loss.
Dad?
Hey, who's the girl?
He's fully forgotten he ever had a daughter, and this is really awesome to watch.
Don't you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
The impact that Casper and his uncles have had on this family will take years of deep, deep work in therapy to resolve. But ultimately, they use the last of the machine's fuel to bring Cat's dad back to life.
Dad?
So everything is okay, everybody gets to go to the Halloween dance, and it's fun. Except for Casper, obviously, because he's a lonely, lonely ghost. Until at the 11th hour.
Cat's mom?
Cat's mom comes down from heaven and reveals that she's an angel.
Are you an angel?
Who can grant Casper one wish. Now, you know what? Casper has grown a little bit throughout this movie. He decided to use the last of the life fuel to bring Cat's dad back instead of him. Maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. Maybe he'll make a selfless choice with this wish.
Remember me.
Casper?
He just wished to be a real boy for a night? Okay, that's kind of a dumb wish. Me personally, I would have wished to be able to do a kickflip. I'm working on it. So everybody lives happily ever after, and Casper effectively never learns a single lesson. Perfect movie, no notes. At the end of the day, I'm glad that my childhood self enjoyed this movie so much, but I think it is proof that nostalgia is a drug and it makes us blind. Anyway, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. That's so nice of you. You didn't have to do that. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next video where I legally change my name to Mr. Garbage Man.